Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that I've noticed more and more, and I know I'm not the only person noticed this lately, about people being, a lot of people, not everybody, none of this is going to be about everybody, but some people being way too hostile and, trying to deal with them. Some might hold their tongue, some might just, not feel anything. I don't know. I don't know how people can not feel anything when somebody's being hostile toward them. Might be an extreme there. And some might not allow it. They say something. So many different reactions it could be to it. But these are people out in the public, working in the public, I should say. And it could be in person, or let's say this example I'm giving, or examples, would be in person or over the phone. Okay, both of them. Yeah. And I've noticed it myself more and more lately. Here it is. Today is actually June 1st, so 2021. Hopefully I'll get it up soon, this video public soon. But I have noticed it. I have noticed this for years. Okay, I live in a place that I call Narcissismville, and it's really more of an area. And people, I did not give it the reputation. It had the reputation when I first heard of it, something like 30-something years ago. That some people, it's known for people who have a high sense of entitlement, and the whole thing of narcissistic. And when you work in a place, to be narcissistic while working in a place, yeah. Okay. And now the way I should put it is this: the person who's working in whatever it is, or wherever it is, and they're very narcissistic and they're angry, and they're in that thing of wanting to take their anger out on somebody. They're trying to, some people think that they look for certain types of people. Some might, but I would never say that it's 100% across the board that they look for certain types of people. No, I think whenever they're having, their little fit of rage, but, going into a fit of rage, it can be anybody that they're angry at. They don't know. They don't care. Now, I see it more as like borderline rage. But anyway, let me give an example of this. Just the other day, I went to a place, and I went through the drive-thru. And the speaker, it is kind of set back from the actual place to pick up the order is around the corner, around the building. Like I could say at the L part of a building. And so the person can't see, unless they have a whatever. But no, I don't think they do. They don't have a camera that they could see. And so I'm there and I'm making an order, and I'm trying to look at something, to read something, so I haven't pulled totally up yet. I mean, I've pulled up close enough to where they can take my order, but not all the way up. And I, said that, started to say, because I wanted to see what the name of something was, and it's just two things, and to say it because it's on the end of it. Okay, how many of us drive up to a big, huge menu and know exactly where it is? The speaker. Anyway. So I try to, start my order, and the woman at the other end just starts screaming at me. The person taking my order, she just screams, and I figured it out that it was the speaker. So I thought, and she told me to pull up because she can't hear me. And then I was trying, it was something new to me, and I was trying to see, what, like side orders and stuff like this, put on a side on a meal, and different kinds of meals that I haven't ordered, and all this stuff. And she didn't have any patience, and was very rude. Yeah, very rude. And she basically started talking loud. I said, listen, she had me pull up, and I said, I can't understand you because your speaker is way too loud. And she says, I'm not trying to be rude. I did not say anything about rude. She said, she was just yelling. She said, it's my speaker. I said, well, if you would have listened, you would have heard me say that. But she starts talking over me. Oh my goodness. Yes, red flags all over the place. I have a pretty good idea what's going on here. She's trying to take some of her anger out of me and all of this stuff. And it just went on. It went on from there. And, I'm laughing about it now. And anyway, I said, she kept on. She kept doing that. And I tried to say, ask a question about something. And she just, well, you needed to do it in this order. I was like, I don't allow people to speak to me that way. But anyway, she continued. And I said, and when I get up there, I want to speak to your manager. And yeah, some people say, oh, one of those, I got to speak to your manager. Well, yes, I am. And I'm proud of it. How are managers going to know when they have a bad seed employee that's going to start ruining a business if nobody tells them? But yeah, the people I have found in my life, the people who get angry if somebody speaks to the manager are the ones who are slackers. They don't want to work. They don't want to do their job, and they're taking that for other people who don't want to do their job. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, once I said that, I started pulling up, okay, because I'd finished my order, pulling up, and I had to go around the curb and around the building. And once I got there, I said, no, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call her manager. Okay, so I called and she answered the phone. And I said, yeah, I'd like to speak to your manager. And she says, I am the manager. And guess what? That conversation went, she was very loud. So this wasn't the same speaker. This is a telephone. Okay, this is a cell phone. I'm calling her on, and she's on a phone. So there's no excuse for her to speak so loud and in such a bad voice. It's such a rude voice. And anyway, it didn't, just basically me saying, I guess you get to cancel this order because I'm not going to order from a place that has you as a manager. And I explained to her, she obviously does not understand customer service. I said, you immediately, okay, don't pull it up and hit me. What the heck? Oh, man. Did you see that? Yeah, big old diesel. Anyway. Okay, now, today is the day after Memorial Day, and I knew that I had to call 3 places, and I knew it was going to be busy. They would probably put me on hold because it's the day after a 3-day weekend. Well, yeah, long holds. And one of them's pretty sad. I don't want to mention it, but it was, being put on hold when you're kind of sad. It's about why you're calling. Anyway, and so I'm put on hold repeatedly. Okay, and this is surprising to me that the main place, one was kind of sad. I kept calling, and it was being busy. These days and age, being busy, the phone is busy. So, yeah, that was kind of weird. Okay, anyway, I finally reached someone there about an hour and a half later of, calling back and stuff like that. Then the next one was my doctor's. I haven't seen, and I didn't know that they had switched doctors and so on and so forth. I haven't seen that doctor since January of 2020. Okay, and they switched sometime in there. Thank goodness that the doctor and the nurse that was there before, I could not stand them, really. But anyway, I was asking this woman. I said, and I told her I had to reset my phone, and I lost all of my phone numbers. I said, so I want to make sure I'm calling the right place. I said, you do have me in your system. And she said, I will see, we will call you. Real rude. I'm like, oh my goodness. What the, And so there was this young woman, she thought she was going to take it out on me too. Now you can get frustrated, because apparently you're only supposed to call and say, I want to make an appointment, and not ask any questions. I'm being sarcastic. But you don't take your problems out on the customer. But I do worry we're living in a time where it's becoming more and more acceptable because, people have put out there that, you're a Karen. But they were so screwed up in the head, the people who do that. To me, I mean, it's not screwed up in the head, screwed up in what it means, what it was all about. They have changed it to some, they've screwed it up in their heads. Okay, I have my mask on. Most people, not on video, but in person, cannot understand me with my mask on. I don't know why. I guess it is a little thick. I have several, and no matter which ones, some of them aren't as thick. They cannot understand me, so, But anyway, I guess I could take this just down. I got to remember to put it back on. But some of all this kind of thing was making me think was that too much now, it's kind of like a person has to be very, like I said, call someplace or, go through a drive-through somewhere, and a person has to become like, they have to bite their tongue, like I said from the beginning, and just kind of take it just to keep peace, or to keep peace of their own mind, that they're purposefully doing this. Now I've mentioned this before. I'm Texan, and I was born and raised in a really tough part of Texas, that a person had to be tough, or, Okay, where was I? But I was born and raised in probably the roughest and toughest town in Texas. Okay, no joke. And so it's always been a part of me. I was trying to think of the expression most often used, and I believe it was that if you were very passive or something. I think the expression was that people would use is they'll chew you up and spit you out. Something like that. I mean, a person did really need to be tough. And, tough skin. But anyway, so it's not really, it's never been, I mean, it's something that I was born and raised with. It was such a part of me that it's not something that just went away when I was young, and I tend to take up for myself. Not always. I have a little bit of discernment of when I need to just back off and just walk away. But what it seems like these days is an expectation is too much. Not everywhere. Like I said, this is not all. I don't think in terms of all or none like that. But the expectation is for the customer, the consumer, whatever it is, patient, client, whatever, for them to just accept the behaviors, the bad behaviors from the person that works for them, the person that's being, all going off on them, on the customer, whatever it is. Yeah. And it's been building up. I've been seeing this getting worse and worse over years. And it's a mentality of the customer is always wrong. Okay? Well, the customers aren't always right, but what they really want to say is at any point when the customer is not going to take their BS, then the customer is wrong. Immediately go to customer is wrong. And if like in some certain types of places like stores, if the customer's just not going to accept it, no, I'm not taking blame for what you didn't do, they'll blame a vendor. They're not going to blame themselves. Okay? Like if there's some kind of dispute or something, it's not going to be on them, it's going to be somebody else. And that's like a go-to. And like I said, I've seen it building up over years, but especially recently it seems like it's okay. I've always got high. Some people have just determined that it's okay to do that, and they can take their anger out on anybody. They can blame the customer or anybody else, and it's just all okay. It's really not all okay. It's really not. these kinds of behaviors, businesses need to start losing customers. And the customer letting them know at the corporate office or the owner, whatever it is, that you've lost my business because of this attitude. I had to do one time that I spoke to the owner. It was a woman. It's a woman. And I said, I do not appreciate the way I was spoken to by, this employee. And it was somewhere we have spent 10, 20, 30, however many thousands of dollars. And, like 10,000 or something. And she called me personally, whenever I got upset about it, and she found out about what was going on. And she called me personally and apologized. She said, no, you should not have been spoken. Well, that woman, that employee is still there. So, still, we're treated right. Okay. Yeah. But it should never have to go there. Humans shouldn't expect, I'm not saying that, people who work at these places have to be doing, treating us like we are high and, high up on a totem pole, and they're not. I'm not saying that. I don't play the totem pole game, if at all possible. I really don't. But for people to say to a customer who is spending their money at something to be rude, no. I'm not saying that the person has to be kissing up, but they should not be rude, period. There's no need for customer or the employee to be rude to one another. Seriously. End of story. Really. And I have done videos over years about this kind of thing. But it seems like I said, it's getting worse and worse. And this person is way too close behind me. Way too close. They're weaving all over the road. Yikes. Anyway, I've done these for years. Of course, I'm just one person and I don't have a big channel. But I do wonder, I see it increasing so much. That car didn't even need to be behind me. So, really, real life happens in a little video. But as a social and behavioral scientist, this seriously worries me, that this trend toward the, slacker mentality. They only have to work and whatever, and if not, we're going to blame somebody else. Or if we have a bad day, we can take it out on the customers. They're going to be gone out of there. So what? Big deal. We just tell them, that kind of mentality. Boom. They're having a rough day. I understand these days that it seems like you would think they'd have a lot of people looking for jobs. Think of what I said, June 1st, 2021. But a lot of places seem not to have enough employees. And sometimes I wonder if the thing about it is more that they just don't want to hire more employees. And I've thought that for many years now. Like when you call a place and it just rings and rings, or it's busy or whatever, that's an indication that they don't have enough people working there at that time. When you go to a pharmacy and they say it'll be a couple of hours before your prescription is ready, that means that they don't have enough pharmacists, in my view, or pharmacy techs, whatever it is that they need. But the customer and the consumer, wherever the place is, whatever it is, I'm not picking on any one of them, any of them, has to pay with their time. They got us hooked. We just accept it. We should. But, people, to me, more people need to be verbal, but I'm not giving anybody advice. We know these people can be dangerous. Anybody can be dangerous. If a person thinks they're going to lose their job because they wanted to take their crap out on you and you weren't going to allow it, you never know. You never know. Anyway, I'm wrapping this up.